Hello, my dear students. How are you all? I'm sure you all are doing excellent today. So, shall we start the session? Okay, let's start. Students, today we are going to start with a new chapter from your NCERT Grade 10 English textbook, that is First Flight. Let me tell you, the chapter that we are going to do today is quite interesting and is also very important from board's point of view. So I would like all of you to pay 100% attention so that you can get a thorough understanding about this chapter. So before starting the chapter, let me give you a brief introduction about it so that you can get a bit of understanding as well as you can guess the name of the chapter. Yes? So students, this chapter basically talks about a farmer who lives with his family in a valley. This farmer is extremely happy. Why? Because it is the season of harvesting. And we all know that how much farmers are happy when the season of harvesting arrives. Yes? But he wishes a last rainfall, or you can say a good rainfall, so that his field or his crops could reach peak. And his wish comes true. It starts raining. But suddenly, due to some unpleasant act, his entire field gets destroyed. And in a moment's time, his happiness, or you can say extreme happiness, turns into extreme sadness. At this point of time, or you can say situation, he decides to seek help from the Almighty. But there is a twist in the story at this point. The way that he chooses to seek help from God is not a normal, or you can say regular way. Rather, he chooses a very strange way to seek help from God, or you can say the Almighty. So students, can you guess the name of the chapter? Yes, you all are right. This is the first chapter of your Unit 1, A Letter to God. So let's start this chapter, students, and let us understand that why his entire field got destroyed. Why did he choose such a strange way to seek help from God? Let us read the chapter and find out our answers. So before starting the chapter, let us read, or you can say let us go through the introduction which is present in your textbook before you read. They say faith can move mountains. But what should I put our faith in? This is the question the story delicately poses. Now students, who is they over here? They means people. So people say faith can move mountains. Not only people, even we believe that if you have, or if we have strong faith, we can accomplish any task. Yes. But what should we put our faith in? That is the main question. The task in which we have to accomplish, or in which we have to attain success, it's very important to choose that particular task and then to put your 100% faith in that particular task. So that is the question that we are going to get an answer for in this particular chapter. Lencho is a farmer who writes a letter to God when his crops are ruined, asking for 100 pesos. Now, you can understand the main character of this particular chapter is the farmer over here. And what is his name? Lencho. And he writes a letter to God, as we discussed in our introduction, asking for help. And what sort of help? Monetary help. Now there is a word called pesos over here. What do you understand by pesos? Let us understand. Let us read and understand the chapter, because this is just the introduction. We should not finish the entire chapter in the introduction part itself. Does Lencho's letter reach God? Does God send him the money? Think what your answers to these questions would be and guess how the story continues before you begin to read it. So let us read it and try to find out the answers which are raised over here and also which are there in our mind. So before starting to read the chapter, let us just understand a bit about the author. And why is it important to understand about the author? Because it will help you in understanding the purpose behind writing the context. So let us just understand a bit about Gregorio Lopez y Fuentes. So he belonged to Mexico, and his father was a shop owner, and in his childhood he used to interact, or maybe you can say he was in contact with a lot of farmers, a lot of people who used to do menial jobs, who were laborers, right? And this made him understand their situation, what all situations they go through, what all problems they go through. And in this chapter also, there is a farmer who is going through a problem. So see, you can understand that this particular author, right from his childhood, was quite acquainted with the problems and the situations of people like farmer and peasants. And through his work, he tried to address it to the entire world. Okay, so now we are done with the author's introduction as well. Now let us start reading the chapter. The house, the only one in the entire valley, sat on the crest of a low hill. From this height, one could see the river and the field of ripe corn dotted with the flowers that always promised a good harvest. The only thing the earth needed was a downpour, or at least a shower. Throughout the morning, Lencho, who knew his fields intimately, had done nothing else but see the sky towards the northeast. Now we are really going to get some water, woman. The woman who was preparing supper replied, "Yes, God willing." Now, students, the story starts with the definite article the. Can you tell me why the is placed before the common noun house? Yes, whenever we use definite article the, we try to mean, or we try to say about one thing, one particular thing. So it means that his house was the only house in the entire valley, and it's set on the crest of a low hill. What do you mean by crest? Top of a hill. Yes. And from that height, he could see the river and also his field and all the corn crops and all the flowers as well, which was present on all the crops of the corn, right? And his field was also promising him a good harvest that year, and that was the reason for his extreme happiness. And the only thing the earth needed was a downpour. What do you mean by downpour? A heavy rainfall, yes, or at least a shower. Throughout the morning, Lencho, who knew his fields intimately, what do you mean by intimately? Closely, had done nothing else, but he was continuously staring at the sky and was expecting a good rainfall. Now we are really going to get some water, woman. Now, who is this woman? This woman is Lencho's wife. So he also was having a conversation with his wife, and he said that we are really going to get some good rainfall because I am expecting good rainfall. And he was hoping for it. And the woman also replied, "Yes, God willing." Now, what is the meaning of God willing over here? Hopefully. So his wife was also very hopeful about a good rainfall, and Lencho on the other side, he was eagerly waiting for the rainfall, right? Now, students, can you just see there is a reported speech over here? Now we are really going to get some water, women. Now, as you know that you have reported speech in your syllabus, right? Can you just convert it into indirect speech? Try. Yes. So Lencho told the women that they were really going to get some water then. So as you can see, which tense is it? Continuous tense, continuous present. See, are plus ing. So continuous present turns into continuous past. So told the women that they were. Continuous past, continuous present, as I said, turns into continuous past. So continuous past means were plus ing, and also adverb of time also changes. So now we'll change into then. Okay, let us move ahead. The older boys were working in the field while the smaller ones were playing near the house until the woman called to them all, "Come for dinner." It was during the meal that, just as Lencho had predicted, big drops of rain began to fall. In the northeast, huge mountains of clouds could be seen approaching. The air was fresh and sweet. The man went out for no other reason than to have the pleasure of feeling the rain on his body. And when he returned, he exclaimed, "These aren't raindrops falling from the sky. They are new coins. The big drops are 10 cents pieces and the little ones are 5s." Now look over here. So the older boys. Now who are these older boys? So you can understand Lencho's children, right? They were working in the field outside, and while the smaller ones were playing near the house. And at that time, their mother went over there and she called all of them for dinner. So while they were having dinner, Lencho observed something. And what did he observe? That it had started raining, that his prediction has come true, or you can say a wish that he made, it came true. And it made him so happy that for no other reason but to make himself happy or to feel the pleasure of the first rainfall, he went outside, right? And when he came inside, he exclaimed, it means he said it with such a joy to his family members, that these aren't raindrops. These are new coins. So he is comparing this raindrops with money, right? And he says that big drops are 10 cent pieces and the smaller ones are 5 cent pieces. So now he can clearly see money in this rainfall. Why? Because as he said in the earlier paragraph, that his field only needed one last rainfall, and after that his field will be completely ready for the harvest. And once he harvests his field, or you can say once he sells all of his crops in the market, he would become wealthy, or you can understand he would earn a lot of money. So these raindrops were like coins for him, or you can say was like money for him. So now students, can you just identify some of the figures of speech which are used for doing indirect comparison? Yes. So yes, as you can see, huge mountains of clouds, and the last sentence, big drops are 10 cent pieces and the little ones, little ones are 5s. So these are metaphor. What is metaphor? Indirect comparison between two different things. I repeat, indirect comparison between two different things. Okay. So let us stop over here, students. I'm sure that you all have understood till this point. You can note down the word meanings, also the grammatical elements that we are discussing while reading the chapter. You should also note all these things in your textbook, so that after we complete it and once you start revising it, you should have something in reference for your understanding. If you note all these things in your textbook, you can turn your textbook into reference books. Okay, so students, let me stop the session over here. See you in the next session.